And so this would be Friday, March 20th. We're going to get into our story about Phaethon and the sun gods and fun stuff like that. And apparently the idea is just being total adorbs. Because sometimes that just happens on Fridays. If you go to the FJH Art Show for how we get house points, if you can't be there, you can take a picture and then bring it in to me on Monday or whatnot. If you can't, send it to me. Bellwork information up there, tie game. Apparently, because the world's full of haters, I try to support St. Patty's Day and the tie game theme instead of the IU team, but whatever, people just hate me. Now, to take a look at the bellwork to help you out from there. Let's see, we have port, meaning to carry. I give you import, meaning to carry in, and portal, and Abdul.
Passport.
Passport, the thing you carry that allows you to get out of a country. Weiger?
Portion.
Portion, a small amount of something. And yes.
Deport.
Deport, to send away from a country. Maya?
Export.
Export, that means to carry away from a country. Jilly D?
Airport.
Airport, to carry away via air. Blake?
Important.
Important, meaning to carry some kind of importance. Matthew?
Teleportation.
Teleportation, to travel instantaneously from one spot to another if you're a superhero. Grant?
Portable.
Portable, things you can carry. You just have portable cell phones over the size of a briefcase. Blue?
Porthole.
Porthole, which is the thing you look through on boats that allow you to carry your vision through. Yes?
Carport.
Carport, which is like a garage, which is kind of a weird name for it. Lambear?
Report.
Report, to carry the information again. Jamie?
Portfolio.
Portfolio, the stuff for art, when you carry all your art in a little bag. You guys are on fire, on fuego. Yes?
There's something as a transport.
No, that's a good try. I'm just going to name different things. Jamie?
Transport.
Transport, woodwork though. He inspired someone though. Nicely done. Weiger?
Transportation.
Fancy, transportation. Jake?
Isn't port just a word?
Yeah, it means a place where you go to carry stuff. That would work also if you're lazy, but sure it would. Yes?
A port.
No.
I looked
I'm-
that up.
Blue?
Would starboard port be one?
It would be, just using that port thing again. Then vid, meaning to see. We had one that meant to see last week. It's just a different root, same idea. Evidence and provide. Ogawa?
Video.
Video, the easy one. I figured I wouldn't put that one up there because most of you guys know that. Which also takes out video games, videotape, video cassette, video record. It covers all the video things that are out there. Copy?
Vivid.
Vivid in art. We have colors that are good and easy to see. Grand?
Would visuals still work?
It would not, because that's with an S. Good try. Blake?
I'm still going to use it, but video teleconference.
Very long and sure, why not? Jilly D?
Evidently.
Nicely done. Evidently, that could be technically correct. Jamie?
Videographer.
Videographer, someone who does the videoing. No. And our next one, Volve. V-O-L-V, meaning to roll. You have evolve, you have revolution, you have blue.
Revolving.
Revolving, like the door that goes around in a circle.
Those are
You go
so
through.
much
I know,
fun.
so entertaining with your issue, Matthew. Revolver, the gun with the shooting and the spinning and the just all nonstop. 9.
The Volvox car. Volvox?
Yes, apparently that's something from science.
No, it's a car. It's a
Volvox.
brand car.
Volvo.
Volvox.
Dang it.
That's the word I was going to say.
Sorry, I've never heard of Volvo.
Volvo.
Sure, I believe you.
No, it's Volvox.
I've heard of
It's
Volvo.
Volvo.
I also know there's something like a Volvo box, something from
It's
science.
It's
Yeah.
Volvox
It's
is a
Volvo.
protist.
There you go.
Volvo.
Works for me.
Volvo.
Volvo would also work because it means like wheels that spin. Ogawa.
Revolve.
Revolve would work. Nicely done. Liger.
Prevolve.
What he just said.
Prevolve.
Pre-evolve.
Prevolve.
Pre-volve. I've never heard of it, but to volve before you volve. Sure. Jilly.
Evolvable.
And with that one, we shall stop. So that gives you all of the good words. Make sure you have your your sentences still the sentences that connect to it, and then we'll jump on from there. The speedy version of our stories from yesterday, just to make sure we're on top of it. We had Prometheus. What does Prometheus give to the humans?
Fire.
Who did not want humans to have fire?
Zeus.
Zeus. So he's unhappy, so he decides to punish Prometheus. Where does he put him? On a mountain, which is like Tartarus, but the exact opposite direction. And on the mountain, what comes to visit him every day?
He eats his liver while he's alive.
Oh, this part you remember. Good job. And so the eagle which comes to eat his liver every day while he's alive. And we're going to talk about the whole sun and the burning and stuff like that. Plus, there is a punishment for humans. And the punishment for humans involves a woman, Pandora. And before Pandora is brought to life, what do all the gods give her?
Something good.
Something good, except for Zeus, who gives her?
Evil.
No.
Curiosity.
That's where curiosity comes in, the curiosity thing. And then they bring her to life, and her name in Greek means many gifts. Pan meaning many, Dora meaning gifts, means many gifts. Pandora Radio is the same idea because it's one app that brings all of these different radio stations together. So they called it Pandora, many gifts from one. And then who is she married to? Epimetheus, and then eventually Zeus brings a box down to him, but the box is tricky because what's in the box? All the evil things. Who opens the box? Pandora. So who's responsible for all the evil in the world? Pandora. Although technically, who was behind it? But he's sneaky, and that was the punishment for humans. Except for one good thing that keeps the humans from dying off, and that is
Hope.
nice one. Except we have hope, which keeps the humans from dying off, and life is good. Now, let's talk about the sun. Here's how the Greeks believed the journey of the sun chariot worked. Well, first off, who was the guy that drove the sun chariot? Apollo. And what he did was there were these two mountains on either side of the world. One on the east, one on the west side of the world. And there was a palace over here at the top of the east one. And the idea being is that he would, pop out in the sun chariot. Some stories said that the chariot was on fire, some said the horses were on fire, some stories said that he had a helmet that he wore, and the helmet had fire that came off of it. Somewhere on the chariot there's flames, hence the sun part of it. And it would travel across the sky from east to west. And as you saw it travel from across the sky, from east to west, that would be the sun as it went across. And then once he got over to the mountain over here on the west, he would then take a little ride down to the bottom into the Mediterranean Ocean, which was in the middle of the world, and he would go across the Mediterranean Ocean on a boat. And he would get on a boat, and he would ride the boat across. And once he got over there, the boat ride would take most of the night, and then he would go back up and start all over again. Well, the question that pops up is, Mr. Broviac, when he's over here, why doesn't he just build a second palace and then go back the other way the next morning? Well, why doesn't he just build a second palace and then just go back the opposite direction the next day? Yeah, the sun always goes the same direction. The sun always goes one. It doesn't go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's not the way the sun works. So it's always one direction. Well, so because of that, that's why he came down. Well, Mr. Broviac, why do you have to be in a boat? Why not just fly back? Because if he flew back, you would see the sun go flying across the ground, and that would be awkward. So obviously, he gets in a boat, so you can't see it. Totes. That's why he gets in totes in a boat. So that's why he gets in a boat to go across. It's a long day already. Blue.
It's like the Hunger Games.
Oh. You know, with like
Because
Oh, they're on fire.
Yeah.
They come out
It took
in
me a
the
second. I was like,
fire.
because they kill a bunch of children? No, they're on fire. I
Well,
like
they
killing
do.
kids too, but we're not to that part of the story.
They do kill, like, yeah.
Kids, I know. It is totes the connection.
And then like
Grant.
a dress.
Like, I know it's not really real though. Why didn't they just like put out the fire and then fly across?
Because
Why
they
not?
put out the fire. It's like impossible.
Because I'm sure he's tired, so the horse needs to rest, so the horse gets like sleep on the boat.
Huh?
I'm guessing. I'm just
Do you think the boat's like
Okay.
a yacht?
So now we're going to deal with a kid by the name of Phaethon.
Bruh.
For today's story that we should hope have enough time to get through, Phaethon is this kid growing up with his mom in Greece. And he doesn't have a dad around, it's just him and his mom. And he gets picked on at school. Kids keep making fun of him because he just has a single parent and kids are jerks. And they're like, where's your dad? He's like, I don't know. So one day, he goes home and asks his mom, hey mom, why isn't dad ever around? And she takes him outside to the front lawn. She goes, hun, look up in the sky. And he does. She goes, you see that? He goes, yeah. He goes, that's your dad. He goes, no, that's the sun. She goes, no, that's your father. Your father is the god Helios. Well, what happened is, Apollo, who used to be the sun god, retired because it was a lot of work being the sun god. It was a non-stop thing. So eventually he retires, and a new god takes over by the name of Helios. Apollo gets to kick back, keep the name sun god, but basically just work on macking on the chicks. Helios, who is this random scrub titan, gets to step up and become the new god that drives it across. And she goes, before he became the sun god, he and I were friendly, and that's where you came about. But because he got this new job, now he's been busy all the time, he never gets to come down and visit you. He goes, so my dad is the sun god? She goes, that's your father. So he goes to school the next day, and he's like, hey, that's my dad up there. And the other kids make fun of him even more. They're like, really? Seriously? You think you're the son of the sun? You're an idiot. Ha ha. And they laugh at him. So Phaethon decides that he's going to go prove it to everyone that his mom is not a liar. So he sets out to climb this giant mountain and get up there to the palace at the top. And he is going to confront Helios, the sun god, and find out if it's true. So he climbs up to the top. And when he gets up to the very top, he opens these gigantic doors. And if he finds the right one, walks in, and he's like, I want to know, oh, I can't see. And it's blinding lights are shining in his eyes, and he can't see anything. Well, turns out that the reason he can't see is because Helios, the sun god, is sitting in his throne in the palace, and he's wearing his gigantic crown that's shooting out light. Well, all of a sudden, the light goes away because Helios takes off the crown and places it behind his throne, and he says, come forth, Phaethon, my son. And Phaethon steps forward, and Helios reaches out his hand, and he goes, Phaethon, I am your father. And he goes, I think I heard that in a movie once. And so he walks up there, and Helios goes, listen, I apologize. I've not been there for you. I've not been a good parent. I would like to apologize. And Phaethon goes, well, you were not there for a long time. What can you possibly do? Helios goes, I will grant you one wish. Anything you want. Phaethon goes, anything? Helios goes, yes. I swear on the river Styx, it is within my power, I will give it to you. We talked about the river Styx yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And Phaethon goes, anything? He goes, yes. So he goes, what would you like for me to prove to you that you are my son and that I apologize to you? Well, Phaethon is all excited because he basically just found out that his dad is rich and has a brand new super awesome car. And he wants to show off to all of his friends. So what is he going to request to do?
Oh, ride
the sun.
Not just ride it. He wants to drive it. It's like finding out that your dad's a billionaire and has a garage full of Lamborghinis. You're like,
No, not Lamborghini.
I just want to drive a Lamborghini or whatever fancy car that you like best. And he's like, goes with there. The problem is, Helios goes, you can't do that. That's the one thing I can't do for you. And Phaethon goes, promise on the river Styx. He goes, well, listen, it's not that I don't want to. It's that if you were to do this, it'll lead to your death. Because the horses that drive my chariot are super powerful, and it takes superhuman strength to do it, and you're not strong enough to. Do you understand? Phaethon goes, promise on the river Styx. He goes, well, if you do this, it's going to kill you. Can you think of anything else? I'll give you 3 wishes of anything else you want if you don't do this. And Phaethon goes, river Styx. And all of a sudden, Helios' alarm starts going off. Sunrise, 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 which means it is time for him to leave. And Helios starts walking over to the car. He's like, I have to go. And Phaethon goes, you mean I have to go? And he's like, don't do this, man. Phaethon goes like, I want to do it. And he goes over there, just jumps up, snink, grabs the car keys out of his dad's hand, runs over to the horse chariot, and jumps on it. And he's like, let's get this baby started. And starts it up. Takes off across the sky. Helios goes, you're gonna die. Phaethon's like, it's gonna be fun. And takes off into the sky. The horses are huge and powerful, and it is the most fun he had ever imagined. And the horses are going, he's looking down, and he can see people looking up at him. He's like, aha, I hate all you. And he's holding on to these gigantic reins. But the problem is, as the chariot goes across, there are monsters in the sky that you have to fight off. And these monsters in the sky scare the horses. Because these monsters wear a bull and a scorpion and a centaur and a lion. Because what are the monsters? The constellations. And so it's thought that these constellations were actual monsters in the sky. Well, the horses freak out when they see the monsters. And of course, poor Phaethon is not strong enough to steer them in the correct direction. So they start going in different ways, and he tries to pull back and realizes he's not strong enough. And the horse is like, ha ha, idiot! And they take off doing their own thing. Well, when they take off, the sun, instead of crossing the sky, starts to fall down towards the earth because the horses run away from the big scary monsters. Phaethon lets go of the reins and just grabs onto the chariot and wraps his little leg around. He's like, I'm gonna die! And just holds onto the chariot and hopes for the best. Well, the chariot comes down, bounces off the ground, and when it hits the ground, it hits in Africa, burning the ground and creating something out in Africa. What was it creating? Sahara Desert. When it hits, it burns the ground so bad that nothing can ever grow there again and comes back up. Not only that, but when it hit the ground, it also burnt the people that were around it, thus darkening their skin forever. And that's how the Greeks explained people of other races, because they had no other way to explain it. They get burnt by the sun. And so it came down and then came back up. Well, Zeus, when he sees this, realizes that the prophecy is about to come true. And what is the prophecy he's worried about? The world burning. And he's like, oh snap. So he decides Zeus has to solve this problem in classic Zeus fashion. And how does Zeus solve things? And that's what he does. He sees this chariot going across, pulls out his lightning bolt, gives it a throw, and poor Phaethon, as he's holding on to the back of the chariot, the horses are going in different directions, like, this is gonna hurt. Lightning bolt hits him. Little bits of him go flying in all different directions. For although he is half God, he is also half human. And the lightning bolt is enough to kill him. Him and the chariot come falling down to the ground, splash into a river, and they name the river after him. There's a river, Phaethon, that is located somewhere in the Middle East that is connected to him, named for him when he splashed down there. Mr. Brovicast, what happened to the sun? You just destroyed it. I know. Apparently that was the day there was an eclipse, and that was how the Greeks explained an eclipse. And then from there on, he had to go and rebuild a new chariot, and they started all over again. The main idea of the story being, if you don't listen to your parents, what's going to happen to you? You will die. So in Greeks, if you try to leave without a jacket, and your parents said, wear a coat, and you go, no, they go, you don't understand. Have you ever heard the story of Phaethon? And no. Well, that's because you're going to die. Greeks tell great stories. Take off!